Hello everyone, I am Brian P. Easton, the author of the Autobiography of a Werewolf Hunter series. Welcome to the Werewolf Bar and Whiskey with the Werewolf Hunter. Well, as you can see, we are not actually at the Werewolf Bar tonight. We are actually in the site where the new Werewolf Bar will be. I told you a little bit about this before. We're going to be setting up a more permanent site, more permanent set for the Werewolf Bar, and this is going to be it. It doesn't look like much now. It's just a section of a basement, but things are in progress. It doesn't look like it, but they are. And probably the next time you see me down here, we'll have the whole set arranged and we'll be going from there. But until then, I thought I'd just give you a sneak peek so you can see the before and after. And to talk to you about a few things that are on our mind with the series. The first thing that I have to do is apologize yet again. The audio for the Winter Fox Journals, Book 2. I have told you 2 or 3 times now that it was just a matter of time. They were going to have it finished and it was going to be available on the 28th of May. It did become available through Spoken Realms, available through Audible and on the Amazon website. However, I was immediately informed that there are some major audio flaws in that narration. So we had to put the brakes on it again. I am more than frustrated with this. It's just become comical in a way, but it's not funny. And what we have done, what Basil has had to do, is to go back to the drawing board and re-record the Winter Fox Journals audiobook all over again. So he is doing that now. I cannot speak to when he is going to be finished with that at this point. But when he is done, you will be the first to know. I will post it on my Facebook page. And if you want to subscribe to that, the link is in the description below, along with links to the books. Until then, I recommend you do not purchase the audiobook right now, because you're going to get the same bad audio that has plagued this thing. So hold off on that, if you will. If you've already bought it, I'm sure you're going to be able to download it again once the new files are available. So I don't think that's going to be that big of a problem for you. But if you haven't, hold it for a while longer if you can, because like I said, there's major audio defects in the version that's there now. So we're going to work on that to get to you. Legends of the Werewolf Hunter, Book 2, the anthology, second book of the anthology. This is another thing that's been going on for a while. We introduced this back last summer. I think it was June in 2023 that we introduced that to you, Miles and I, and we have got that together. It's been together for a while. We tried a Kickstarter campaign with it that didn't work out, unfortunately. But that's not going to stop it from coming to you. It's not going to stop us from bringing it to you. So I just got word from Miles today that the book is back from the formatter and will be just a matter of time in uploading that and getting the cover art to their specifications in case you want to order a print-on-demand copy. Now, because we've had so much problems lately with getting things done, I am not going to assure you that this book is going to be available by the time this episode hits. I can't guarantee that. But what I can say is that if it is available, when it becomes available, I will post the link to that anthology along with the rest of the links in the description. I want to be able to say with certainty that we're going to have that to you just any day, and I think we will, but I can't say it for certain, and I've done too much apologizing for giving heads up when it wasn't warranted. But we do have it together, and we're going to bring it to you just as soon as we can. Until then, let's take another look at who's in this thing. Another thing to talk about is Monster Hunter Quarterly. Now, if you were with us last month, you saw that I gave a little a teaser of a cover issue of Monster Hunter Quarterly. Now, this is a fictional magazine that supposedly ran from 1890 to 1990, just shy of 100 years quarterly. And I don't think I made it abundantly clear last time that this is a fictional magazine, but we have designed it to be period correct as much as we can, and we've got issues kind of put together here and there from different decades, different years, and so that's going to be coming to you before too much longer. And let me just give you a few cover pictures, just kind of whet your appetite. So that's Monster Hunter Quarterly, and that's going to have articles. It's going to be an e-magazine with different articles, as you can see there on the front of some of those covers. And Miles and I will be bringing that to you as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of vintage ads that we've put together, and articles and so forth. And I think it's going to be a fun thing. Now, let me say that none of this would be possible without the use of AI. There is a lot of division on AI, I know, especially among people who create for a living, and I completely understand that. But without it, we can't bring you this project. It just would be cost prohibitive, time prohibitive, and everything else. So AI has its uses, it will have its uses going forward, and I don't think it's going to replace anybody permanently. I just think that it's another part of technology we're going to have to roll with and adapt to. And we're going to get on the train or get run over by it, is pretty much how I look at that. And speaking of AI and its generated artwork, I had an idea to use to create some vintage retro style covers. If my books had been published in paperback format in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, you know, what might those covers have looked like? I'm an inquisitive kind of guy when it comes to the what ifs. And with AI, I get the chance to kind of explore that with a minimum of difficulty. And I want to share with you now what Autobiography of a Werewolf Hunter, the books, may have looked like had they been published by traditional publishing houses back in the day. Take a look at these. So we don't have a lot more for you tonight. except to talk about the different generated artwork from our AI. Doc is having technical issues this week, and so we're just going to have a short episode, and probably this is going to be the norm going forward, especially when we get converted to a permanent set down here. I want to be bringing you Whiskey with a Werewolf Hunter on a weekly basis in smaller bites instead of a monthly basis like we've been doing. And I announced this, I think, last week. So, continuing now with our exploration into computer-generated artwork. Last month, I introduced or talked at length about Sonny Carroll, who is a vampire slayer character that I created at the same time that I created Sylvester back when I was 10 or 11 years old. He's never really seen the light of day. Last month was as close as he's ever gotten to any kind of a fleshing out publicly. And I have got a lot of good response from the viewers on that, interested in knowing more about him, wondering whether he might be teaming up with Sylvester or not. So I put together a few images for Sonny Carroll, the Vampire Slayer. Now, if you weren't with us last month, let me just quick refresher. Sonny, his heritage is Welsh, and his family name was changed from Westenra, as in Lucy Westenra from the Dracula novel, to Carroll. And he's a couple of generations removed, and was sent to Texas as a young man to live with his Uncle Silas Morris. So we kind of imagine the characters from Dracula after the ordeal of Dracula kind of forming this really family-like, close-knit group. And so this young descendant of the Westerners winds up living in Texas with his Uncle Silas Morris, who was a brother to Quincy Morris. Sonny has inherited his great uncle's Bowie knife, as well as some of his Winchester rifles. He is affable and a gregarious type of soul, not at all like Sylvester. And though he is Welsh and still carries that accent and is very well educated and mannered, he just loves the Western archetype. He loves wearing the Western themed things as he conceives it as a Britisher. So here's a few more pictures that I've conjured for Sonny Carroll, and pay close attention to the last one on the slide. So we have just lots of different projects, and like I said, a lot of these would not be possible without the use of AI. The pictorial project that I mentioned a few months ago has been put on hold just because I just haven't had the time to get in and kind of finish up some of the details on it. The pictorial is a kind of a photographic record of the first 3 books. Well, no, actually it's all of them. All 5 books, the first 3 in the original trilogy, and Winterfox Journals 1 and 2. Pictures of characters and scenes from those novels, and I had just a ball putting it together. I have to put text with it, though, to make it make sense, and I just haven't had time to do that yet. But it's coming. It's on its way, I promise. And if you're not a fan of AI, I have some good news for you. That is that the graphic novel, which I have also touted several times on the show, has taken another step forward, and it will not be done through AI artwork, but with a real living, breathing human artist who I know and am friends with named Douglas Adams. And I've talked about Doug before. He and I have been friends a long time. He is a wonderful artist and is just now finding the time and the resources needed to kind of put the graphic novel into motion. Now, instead of putting the whole book, the whole first book together in a graphic novel in one single bound volume. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it in kind of an issue by issue. We'll have the first issue with its own cover art and everything available for you, probably in e-format. I don't know. We got to find out what printing is like for a comic book, for print on demand. But we'll have that, get that ready for you. I don't have a time or any kind of date on that. All I can tell you is that it's taken a step forward with the acquisition of some new equipment by Doug, and he's still on board with it. It's just a real slow train moving. Well, next time we get together, it won't be down here, but we will have hopefully some very positive information for you, some for sure links of where to get the new audiobook and where to get the Legends of the Werewolf Hunter Anthology Book 2. Hopefully other updates as well, but until we see you in July, happy hunting and mind the moon.